Today is the 29th day of the month of Elul, and we are continuing with chapter 133, the laws of Yom Kippur. We will be doing paragraphs 9 through 15. Paragraph 9. Even though we're not allowed to wear shoes that have leather in them, we are allowed to stand on cushions while we're praying, even a cushion that is made out of leather. However, during Shemona Esrei, the Amidah, when we're speaking to God privately one-on-one, it's not appropriate to be standing on any sort of cushion because it's a bit of like a haughty thing. When we speak to God, we're supposed to be humbling ourselves, and instead we're standing on a cushion. It's not really appropriate. If somebody doesn't have shoes to wear and their feet are cold on the cold floor, they could put down what the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says, some sort of grass or some sort of flattish mat they could be standing on, but it shouldn't be a nice, comfortable cushion. Paragraph 10. Someone who is sick, even though he's not deathly sick, his life isn't in danger, or someone who might not be sick but has some sort of wound on his foot, or a lady who gave birth and who was within 30 days of giving birth, all these people are allowed to wear leather shoes. But again, nowadays that we have so many other options, Crocs, synthetic materials, if it's not necessary, stay away from it, even people who are in this category. Paragraph 11. A husband and wife are not supposed to touch each other at all on Yom Kippur. In addition, all of the restrictions which apply when a woman is in a nida state, from when she gets her period until she goes to the mikvah, all the restrictions that the couple has during that time period also apply on Yom Kippur. By way of introduction for the next few paragraphs, the general rule in regards to eating on Yom Kippur is if someone's life is in danger, you eat. So we're going to go through some specific examples of what that might look like, but the general rule of thumb we're going to see over the next few paragraphs is life takes precedence over fasting on Yom Kippur, just like it does for almost any mitzvah in the Torah, except for the three cardinal sins of murder, idolatry, and sexual immorality. Because fasting on Yom Kippur is a biblical commandment, I highly recommend that if you are concerned that you might find yourself in any of these cases that we're going to be discussing over the next few chapters, make sure to speak to a rabbi beforehand in order that he can guide you in your specific case. So paragraph 12. Even a woman who is pregnant or nursing has to fast on Yom Kippur. If a woman is nursing and the infant is sick and is refusing to nurse, or the mother is not able to nurse the infant properly because she's fasting, in that case, the rule of thumb is the infant's life is in danger because the mother's fasting, therefore the mother should break her fast and should eat or drink. Paragraph 13. A woman who's pregnant might experience a very strong craving, and halakha recognizes that sometimes that craving, if it's strong enough, could become a very severe medical concern. Therefore, if she does develop a craving, she needs to eat something, first you try whispering into her ear, kind of like speaking to her subconscious, it's Yom Kippur today, could you hold off not eating? If she still has this craving she's got to eat, then she should take a little bit, dip her finger in some sauce, lick that, see if that satisfies the craving. If not, she should have a little bit more food. We're going to see in paragraph 15 the different measurements of what's a biblical measurement or rabbinical measurement, so at least let her eat food, but not enough food to transgress the biblical prohibition. And ultimately, if that doesn't work, she still has this craving, which is such a powerful craving that there's a medical concern, she could eat like regular. And any person that develops such a severe hunger that their face changes colors, they're also at that point would be considered to have a medical concern that's severe enough that they could eat. Again, like I mentioned in the introduction to these paragraphs, this could be a little bit vague. Did we cross the threshold or not? It's always best to discuss with the rabbi before Yom Kippur if you're anticipating something. Hopefully you have a rabbi nearby on Yom Kippur that you could speak to if something happens on Yom Kippur. But we always do err on the side of human life. So therefore, if you're not sure, but there's a chance human life is at stake, then you should eat. Paragraph 14. On Shabbos, how severe someone's sickness might be comes up within the Shabbos prohibitions. Could we transgress Shabbos to give somebody medical care? But when we get to the rules of Shabbos, we'll have a discussion there if one doctor says that the person does need this medical intervention, two doctors say not, do you go with the majority, how does it work? By Yom Kippur, in regards to eating at least, if the person says, no matter what any doctor says, if the person says, my life is in danger if I don't eat, or if they say, I know myself, and even though my life might not be in danger now, but if I don't eat something now, my life will be in danger pretty soon, down the road shortly. Then we listen to the person. We don't go with the doctors. We trust the person's knowledge of their own body, and therefore they should be eating. The reason for this is that in regards to general medical care, the level of an infection, somebody broke a limb, is that how dangerous is that? And these things, the average person doesn't have that much medical knowledge. We trust the doctors. But with the severity of someone's hunger, in that case, we trust the individual who has the hunger instead of the doctor. We trust the individual to tell us how hungry they really are and what the effects could be. Paragraph 15. Whenever we give somebody who is sick or needs to eat for medical reasons, whenever we give them food to eat, we give them the food, we put it in front of them, and we should say to them the following. You know yourself. You know how much food you need. If you need to eat like regular in order to be healthy, then eat this all up, have it like regular. But if you think that you could get by without a full, proper, straightforward meal, then let's try the following. Now, before I explain what we're going to tell the person, just to give a quick background of that on a biblical level, there are only consequences for eating a certain amount. The measurement that the Gemara gives is 2/3 of an egg. We're not going to get into all the details of using the Gemara's measurements, but these rules, these guidelines that I'm about to say have to do with the amount that's needed to eat to transgress this biblical prohibition to the point where one might be liable for a punishment called kares. Now again, if one's allowed to eat, they have to eat because they're sick. On the contrary, there's a mitzvah for them to eat. But if possible, we try getting away with eating less than this amount. So what is this amount? This amount is a food. We're going to have one amount for solids, one amount for liquids. For food, it's eating less, up to 1 fluid ounce of a volume of food every 9 minutes, preferably. If they can't wait every 9 minutes, then it would be every 5 minutes. If they can't wait every 5 minutes, then it would be every 3 minutes. With liquids, the amount is approximately 2/3 of a fluid ounce of liquid. And again, preferably every 9 minutes. If you can't do that, every 5 minutes. If you can't do that, every 3 minutes. And there's even an opinion that with liquids, you only have to wait between each drink half a minute. It's always best, if you think you're going to be in such a situation, to have shot glasses marked out before Yom Kippur begins, instead of having to start taking measurements and timing, also to have some sort of analog watch nearby or to watch the seconds. But the stuff does get very complicated. It's a complicated formula. So if you think you might end up in such a situation, highly recommended speak to a rabbi before Yom Kippur so he can sit down and go through with you all of the details and how it works. That is the end of today's learning. Have a great day and see you tomorrow.